Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Noir, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Andrew.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Andrew. For those of you listening, Andrew is a friend of ours who he plays MCP with us less frequently, but he has a lot of good takes, and we brought him on this episode to just shoot the crap and to talk about the things that are coming out that excite him. But before we go into what we're doing this episode, how is everyone today? How are you today, Brad?
I'm doing great, Fred.
That's good to hear. How about you, Steven? How are you doing?
Sunny day in Cleveland. Actually, I'm in South Carolina, but it's raining down here, so yeah, that's a sunny day in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. How are you doing, Andrew?
Doesn't get a whole lot better out here, except at least when the kids stop screaming. Anyway.
Yeah. It is beautiful out right now. It is very nice. It has been a nice week weather-wise. All right. Well, let's move on to news and announcements. There's really no news still out of AMG. Nothing worth discussing. Upcoming tournaments. Okay. So on October 18th is Second Wind. Last week, I said that I would be going to Second Wind. That has since changed. There has been something that came up at work, and I'm going to be out of town for work that weekend, which is very disheartening. So, unfortunately, I will not be attending Second Wind this year. I am very sorry to all those out there listening, but hopefully Brad will be able to bring some information from the Second Wind, but we will see.
I hope so.
We'll see. Are there any other events coming up? I guess there is an event on November the 15th at Lost Legion Games and Comics. Is that correct, Brad?
You said the 15th? Yes, that's right.
Okay. November the 15th at Lost Legion Games and Comics. We did just have our monthly tournament yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. We will discuss it, not really in depth. We'll go through it today, but we won't give it the full treatment that we give to an Appalachian Cup event. This was a much smaller event. There were only 7 attendees, but it was a ton of fun. So since I brought it up, let's talk about games that we've played recently. All right. Hey, Steven, do you have any games that you would like to discuss?
Yeah, I actually got a game in finally, and I found out how rusty I am at this game now. So, a little disheartening, but I played Mary, and she was bringing Web Warriors. She switched factions from her criminal syndicate. So, she's excited about all the new Web Warriors coming out. So, ended up on a I even forget the crisis, but we were at 19 points. I know I had Alien Ship. There was a 19 point secure that was not. Is Mcran 19 points? I forget.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Anyway, so we set up, and she brought a 5 wide spiders, which I wasn't expecting, but she brought Miles, Black Cat, Amazing Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Black Panther, the original. I countered with my 6 wide list, which was Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Lizard, Kraven, Mysterio, and Magic. And everybody, I was up 4-3 in the first round. I was tied 7-7 next round. I was down 2 points in round 3, and then I lost the game in round 4. So,
oh boy,
I played terribly. I can't blame dice. I can't do anything but blame myself. So,
yeah.
But I did get some thematic win in there. Kraven was my only piece that was doing well. and he actually killed Spider-Man.
Did you
So
buy
it was
the
one of
car?
those times. No, I did not. I did not have it in my pride. I was just like, wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen, but it did happen, and I wish I had the card right now. But Mary played a good game. She played Brawly Webs, and Black Panther became a problem real quick. So, but
Yeah.
but like I said, I mean, I'm really rusty, so I've got to think about that. If I were going into it again and looking at her list a little bit more closely, I might have opted uh, for 17 instead of 19 because I lost priority, and then I would have brought Venom, and Venom would have caused problems. So, but needless to say, Magic didn't do anything. She was very disappointing.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, it happens. I mean, it's a game and it's dice. So there you go. That's all I got.
I gotta say, Craven against Amazing Spider-Man. I have done that myself. It feels really good. And like if the opponent underestimates Craven and leaves Amazing Spider-Man in his threat range, I think Craven can take him out, and not infrequently. You do have to kind of roll okay, but it's not that bad of a. You can do it. It's doable.
Well, my other bonus was that Lizard actually took out Daredevil. So
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good.
So I guess Lizard did
Now
okay.
Now I'm picturing Lizard wearing Daredevil's costume.
And throwing the baton, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry to hear you lost, but
No, it's fine.
happened.
It's fine.
My first. So we played a 3-round tournament, and there were 7 players. So there had to be a bye every round, and Brad did a good job of managing the buys so that only people who didn't travel received them. And what that means is he caught the bye round 1. So my round 1 in this tournament was against Chance, who has been on this podcast before, and it's a Wakanda mirror match, and Chance is a much better player than me. Like, that's just objectively, he is a better player than me. Chance is also playing around with a fun, silly list of Wakanda people. And so Chance was playing under Killmonger Usurper's leadership. Chance's list in this game was a 20 threat game. So Chance played Killmonger Usurper, Okoye. He played 6 threat Thor, hero of Midgard. That's 12 threat, and he played Black Panther, the 3 threat Black Panther, and I can't remember the other models, but I believe that it was a 3. It couldn't have been a 3 and a 2. It had to have been a 5, but I can't remember what it was because this was my first game of a very long day. And I played King T, M'Baku, and the like. I had Shuri Okoye and Shang-Chi, and however that maths out, I don't think that's a full 20, but that's all I'm going to be able to remember. This game, I put up as good a fight as I can, but again, Chance is just a better player than I am. So I fought on as hard as I could, and this wasn't exactly close because I don't think I really had a chance at any point in this game. But the game did end 19-15, and that's not horrid. I didn't have a horrid showing. So I did not walk away feeling like I got blown out of the water. So that's good. And what that means is that because I lost, I volunteered to have the bye in round 2. And so my round 2 was a win. Hey, Brad, why don't you talk about how your round 2 went?
While Fred was just sitting down relaxing, I had to play Chance. And as Fred said, he was playing Killmonger Usurper. In my game, he also played 3-Point Black Panther, Okoye. I'm trying to save the one model for last because someone's going to get real excited. Sabretooth Apex Predator and Ant-Man.
Woo! Ant-Man, yes.
And then I
do love me some Ant-Man.
I'm playing Hellfire now. And then we're at 17 points. So I played Emma Frost, Mystique, Lady Mastermind, Black Cat, and Miles. I feel like that's a pretty solid list, or at least I did before this tournament. And we like jockey around the first round. I get like an attack on somebody, and then at the end of the round, Ant-Man comes flying it's a bee, comes flying all the way onto my bee. Uses the herb to uppercut Emma Frost into oblivion, dazing her turn 1 and picking up an extract. And this is where I lose the game. But fate wasn't done with me. On third round, I lose basically everyone. I think I have one model up at the end of the round, and everyone else is either dazed or KO'd. So, like, it was bad enough that I got off on such a bad foot. But, like, just as an example, in round 3, Apex Predator goes, makes one attack into Black Cat, KOs her.
Oh, no.
Moves onto my Imkron Crystal. Throws himself into Mystique, leaving her at 1. Throws Mystique into Emma to KO Mystique.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how that round went.
Sabretooth.
Absolutely terrible. So I lose this game. This is one of those games that no matter how well I had played, I was going to lose this game.
Do you think it's just that he brought up an exceptionally hitty list? Do you think that as a Hellfire club, you just didn't have the meat to survive that kind of hitty?
Okay, so Chance is a good player, and he went hard into attrition. And that's not necessarily enough to win you the game, but when the dice just back you up on that plan, there is nothing you can do. And that's what happened.
That's fair.
The dice backed him up on his plan that he chose, his plan of attack. So
Yep.
That was the end of that.
I mean, and Chance is a hell of a player. I want to talk about the leadership that Killmonger Usurper has because it's weird. It is. I know we've already covered him, but we never really talk about him because no one plays him. No one plays him, and no one plays his leadership, and probably rightfully so. He gives out 3 herbs at the beginning of every round, and you can spend the herb to roll an additional dice in an attack roll. And if you make it to the end of the round having not spent the herb, you take a damage and gain a power. But you take a damage and gain a power even if it happens after you flip the card and take all the damage off. Like if you were dazed in the round, it happens after you get flipped. So it hurts you on your flip side if you get dazed with an herb while you're holding it. That's an error in the construction of how that leadership is
Now,
supposed to work.
it is absolutely on purpose because they did the same thing with Bishop. They did fix Bishop
Yeah,
when
they
they
fixed
realized
Bishop.
how bad it was. So
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It definitely seems like too high a price to pay for the benefit you're getting.
It is. I don't think it's a particularly good leadership, but I mean, if you're going with a full violence list like Chance was going with, it is. I get why he chose that leadership. He also was playing a non-competitive for fun roster, and he wanted to try it out, and I don't blame him at all. It is fun to try new things. Oh, I remembered the 5 threat he had against me. It was Werewolf by Night, and he was
it
awesome.
absolutely was Werewolf by Night.
It was Werewolf by Night, and I can't believe I forgot about him because he did so much work in this game. Werewolf by Night is a beast. He is a real problem. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that you lost, Brad. But yeah, I lost a chance too. He's a real tough opponent. Let's move on to round 3. My round 3 opponent was Johnny Blasto. Johnny Blasto was playing a criminal syndicate list with Shadowlands Daredevil and with Mephisto and Loki Prince of Lies. This is a roster that I have played against a bunch of times recently because Borka has been trying out this roster. And I have figured out that I don't want to play Wakanda into it because Wakanda is a little bit of a glass cannon, and this list that you're playing into is it can just shell out the damage so hard that Wakanda will rip in half. So what I played instead was Asgard, and that was the correct choice. I was playing Thor, Mighty Thor, Valkyrie. I played King T'Challa, and how does that work out in math? And Okoye. We were playing at 20 threat, and we were playing on Inhumans Deploy Weaponry and Wedding Party. As wedding parties tend to do, this broke up into 2 separate fights, but the fights were very strongly on my left side. I think every model, except for his Loki Prince of Lies and my King T'Challa, were on the left side.
Fred.
And those two were...
Fred.
Yes?
There's no fighting
Yes.
at weddings.
And those two were on my right side fighting each other. And King T... But Loki Prince of Lies is really good. King T is excellent. King T was pulling out the win for me on my right, and on my left, it was a really hard fight with Thor and Mighty Thor and Valkyrie. But Mighty Thor and Valkyrie did the Lord's work in this game. Mighty Thor, on her... It was a turn where she had to do good, or I was going to lose. And she did good. She dazed Mephisto. She dazed... I believe she KO'd Winter Soldier. I don't remember exactly who she KO'd, but she took out 2 models in one activation. And then, on top of that, she did a bunch of damage to Shadowlands Daredevil by throwing something at him. It was an excellent activation. And then Valkyrie activated, and Valkyrie was able to finish out all of his units on that side pretty much by herself, because we had been slamming into each other pretty hard over there. This game is like tied up until this point. This is round 3 that this occurred. We both had 8 points we both each had eight victory points. At the end of this round, I score all 8 points on the field. That puts it to 8-16, and I win the game. Had it gone to another round, I think I might have lost this game because I was beat up. and all of his people were coming in flipped with all the power in the world, and he was going to have priority. So it was going to be real nasty for me. But I pulled out the win on this game. I'm starting to learn how to deal with this roster. I need some stuff to go my way, but it is not an unbeatable fight. So even though it's really strong, this is a winnable fight. Everyone out there, I feel real good about how this game went. So yeah, that was my round 3. Brad, do you want to talk about your round 3?
Yeah, I played. What did I play against?
You played Borka.
Did I play Borka?
I'm pretty sure you did. I could be wrong, but
oh, I played Borka round 2. Oh,
you flipped them. Oh,
I did flip them in my
3.
head. Yeah, because I couldn't have played Borka. Borka was in the finals.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I played Borka second round. Well, spoiler alert there, he wins this game. We played 17th round. I played the exact same list. We did play 4 game turns, it says. He was playing Midnight Suns, and he played Blade's Leadership against me. And he played also 3-Point Black Panther. Blade, obviously. That was one side, because it was Infinity Formula, so there were 2 sides. And against them, I had Miles and Lady Mastermind. Not the best people to fight, but whatever. He had Killmonger, Shang-Chi, and M'Baku on the other side against Emma, Black Cat, and Mystique. Emma and Mystique got some licks in pretty well, and Lady Mastermind survived 1,000,000 attacks on the other side, which helped keep me in the game. But he just had more fighting ability on either side than I did. I think he successfully usurped the throne. So that hurt. And the big thing is Black Cat just folded every time she was attacked in this game. Against Chance as well. That she just died so quickly. So he was able to get extracts off of her. She had 2 at one point. No, she couldn't have. Wait, what was it, cubes? Oh, it was cubes. So she did have 2. She had 2. She didn't get to score both of them when she had 2. They're just knocked right off of her. He had a Moon Knight? Why did I say Killmonger? That makes no sense.
I was wondering
God.
because
that was you later. That was our game later. Okay.
And actually, I did not successfully usurp the throne.
No, you did not.
I failed. That was a failed usurpation.
So the one side was right. It was Blade and Black Panther, and then Black Panther got me going down the wrong path here. Chosen Bass, Black Panther. It was
the 3-threat Black Panther.
It was Moon Knight, Elsa, and
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. That's who it was. And the thing I'm thinking of is he didn't Killmonger me. He did activate Emma with Iron Fist because I dazed him first turn. So he activated her second turn. That's the thing that happened that was awful in this game. Elsa survived on 1 health at one point, and that kind of wrecked me. Ended up wrecking me. And Black Cat did just fold to every attack, but they were attacks from Iron Fist or Moon Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is sad that she died when she was attacked by them. Like they're not that great of attackers.
I mean, they're not terrible, but I get it. Yeah, you would hope that she would survive better than that.
Yeah, this is a game that if luck had been slightly more in my favor, it might have had a different outcome. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that is, and this was only a 3-round tournament.
Yes.
I end up 2-1, and Brad ends up 1-2. Borka goes on to win this tournament. Congratulations, Borka. He wins the 3rd round against Jay Heat. Jay Heat, who is an excellent Brotherhood player. And yeah, that is how this tournament shook out. I actually had 3 games after the tournament that I played. I stayed around for a while, and I played 3, 1 against Brad, 1 against Memphis, and 1 against Michael. And I won all 3, and my dice turned really on these games. I was rolling exceptionally hot on my defensive rolls. So, yeah, everyone had a very long day this day, but I had a lot of fun. And it was a real good tournament, and I want to say thank you to Chance, to Jay Heat, and to Johnny Blasto for coming down and joining us on this event. Okay.
I had one more thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I hate Black Cat. She does everything against me and does nothing for me. I hate her. And so she may be cut from the list. I did play a game earlier in the week with Cassandra Nova, and she rocked. She was so great. So I just want to throw that out there.
It's so odd to hear that Cassandra Nova did well. Although there's no reason not to. Like, she's not bad. She's just not great. She's a 5-threat model who doesn't feel. She feels like a 4.5-threat model. But do you think that this is her place?
Yes. Yeah. In fact,
okay.
I feel like leaning more into the types of things she does with the list.
Okay, then. All right. Well, it will be interesting if you end up with a Hellfire Club list featuring Cassandra Nova that absolutely rocks. That would be fun.
I don't know if we're going to get to absolutely rocks, but
I'm holding out hope for you. Okay, so today we brought on Andrew to talk about some of the upcoming paints that are coming out in the near future. And I am going to throw it over to Andrew to start us off.
It's like
hey,
Fred
Andrew,
doesn't even listen.
I'm going to throw it over to Brad?
No.
Hey, Brad, what's up?
We're just going to talk about painting, and one of those things is a cool thing that Andrew's been using, but that's not the only thing we're talking about, Fred.
Brad,
Brad,
you've got to forgive Fred when it comes to talking about painting, because he literally doesn't know what he's talking.
That's true.
Exactly. And, also, I'm trying to segue us over into a different zone. So, hey, Andrew, tell me about what you're excited about painting today.
So, we live in this era where painting has kind of never really been more accessible than it is now, thanks to a large, not awesome corporation named Games Workshop creating this class of paints called contrast paints. And I think a lot of companies have done a really great job of taking that banner and running with them, and none maybe more so than the Army Painter. And if you're not familiar with the Army Painter, they are a wonderful company. Where they're from in the world just jumped out of my head. I think it might be Spain. But I could be totally wrong on that.
Spain is Vallejo. I think it's Germany.
Spain is Vallejo. You're right. Okay, got it. Um, but their Speed Paint 2.0 line, they kind of revamped a few years ago. Their first attempt at contrast, and it's been extremely well received over time. But painting is kind of moving back in the direction of paint markers. Everybody's trying to come out with the new paint markers to try and make painting more accessible to people like Fred. And I think that I think that these are a great tool, but Brad and I'll talk about our approaches a little bit and see some places where we could use stuff like this. Now, my background as a painter, I first put paint to a model in 2005 when I was in high school. Um, and that started a long journey, and it was, kind of hideous to think and look back on them. And now I'm at the point where I don't think anything of planning out a project and spending, 20 hours and 10, 15, 20 hours painting a miniature.
Oh boy. Okay.
But
that's
that's not everything I'm doing.
Right. That is
Um,
such a time commitment to. This is the thing that I have trouble getting over the hump with painting, is that the amount of focus and the amount of effort and time necessary to really succeed in this space is not something that I have the ability um, to dedicate to the process.
Oh boy,
It's just not a skill.
boy
that
do
I
we
have.
have good news for you, Fred.
Yeah.
we do indeed. But for those who are listening and hearing Fred and saying, "Hey, that's me," I don't have a ton of focus myself. But what I have, based on the time that I've been painting and older hats at painting miniatures, will probably agree with this, is that being able to look at a miniature and form an attack plan in chunks is what is great about being able. It's a great way to digest the process if you're trying to do something where you want to put in a lot of time. Um, Either going by color, picking something on the miniature, and going that route. Um, like the uh, first time I painted Gwen, first time I painted Ghost Spider. Um, I didn't do it all in one sitting. I didn't do it over a lot of time either. I was pretty busy at that time, if I recall. I think it was might have been, I don't remember, but fall's my busy time of year usually. Um, and first thing I did was I'm going to get all the black details on the suit where I want them to be. Put the model down, go do something else. The black is done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come and get all the white done. White is done. Great. Now I'm going to add all the pink. Now I'm going to do the shoes because teal turquoise color. A lot of painting a miniature is about understanding how to eat the elephant. And if when you're looking at it, you just see the whole miniature, you're going, "Oh my gosh, so much!" Like when I first sat down and to think about painting Amazing Spider-Man, probably one of my favorite looking models in the entire range. I didn't paint Amazing Spider-Man for like years because I looked at him and I'm like, "Oh, that explosion! I don't think I can do the smoke effects the way I want. Oh man, he's such a dynamic pose. Oh, how am I going to make the webs look great? How am I going to get all the detail on that gantry?" And it just overwhelms you. But if you really think about, instead of thinking about all those things together, if you can break them down and think about them, okay, that gantry. How many different metal colors do I want to paint it? Okay, which one should I probably do first? I think painting, when it seems overwhelming, is an exercise in planning more than anything else. What do you think, Brad? How do you go about it?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it that deep, but that is exactly what I do. So like when I'm I started work on Fred's Valkyrie today because Fred is paying me to paint the models. So the first thing was I need to spray this model black. Okay, now I need to do zenithal paint, and then tomorrow night, I'm gonna have to pick what color I paint her like cape and clothing and stuff, and I'm gonna get that and probably her skin done, and then so on. And I'm using speed paints, so I'm just putting them over the zenithal, and I'll work
That
a little bit each day on it until it's done.
that's probably the best way to do it, but I can't do that. I've got two kids running all over the place. I'll catch a chunk of time here, a chunk of time 4 days later. But if I've got that plan, that's why I have to be so plan focused.
Yeah.
Is because otherwise I wind up like Gandalf and Moria. I have no memory of this place. What was I doing? And then it falls apart. Um. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Stephen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was my turn. Well, my approach to painting is that I try to paint at least 4 days a week, at least 45 minutes a session. The key thing for me is to have everything organized ahead of time. So I got my desk laid out. I got my paints laid out. I have everything that would take away my focus from painting, and then I paint until I get to what I call the ugly duckling stage. So you do your primer, you do your base coat, so on and so forth. Um, my best advice is you are allowed to be sloppy. Okay. Um, it will come out in the wash. That's why I call it the ugly duckling phase. Right now, I'm working on my Mephisto and on his flames, and they're just not coming out right. But I know they'll come out right in the end because I'm just going to keep trying at it. So, but another method I've instilled is that I'm using oil-based washes. So you have to let those set for 24 hours. So when I get to a stage where I do my oil-based wash, I'm like, okay, I can't paint anymore because this has to set for 24 hours. So, like I said, for me, the biggest things is being prepared and having everything laid out ahead of time. So you're not distracted by trying to put this paint over here or getting your wet palette ready or anything like that. And then going to the ugly duckling stage, because when I get to the ugly duckling stage, I know I'm almost finished. And then also letting yourself have a break from it for 24 hours if you use oil washes on your miniatures.
And I think that being comfortable in the ugly duckling stage as it starts to develop is very hard for a lot of us to do. We're often, we're gamers. We come from a lot of different walks of life, but when we start going into the painting are at that point always the harshest critics of their own work.
Correct. Yeah. I've come to realize that after you get done painting a miniature, you are still not done with the miniature. You can always look at it and say, wow, I could do this to that, or wow, I could do that to that. So, but
the other thing I would definitely, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, the other thing I was going to advise is that when you get to a point in your painting process where you're happy, if you're not finished with the model but you're happy with the stage, do a light varnish on it, because then if you make a mistake after that, you can actually go back and erase it pretty easily. So I've used that method a little bit too.
One of my favorite things I've picked up in painting over the last few years, and one that I would definitely advise for folks who aren't as in love with miniatures painting as the side of the hobby, Uh, got a model on the table, and you're trying to get it painted, and you put that model on the table, and the part that's giving you trouble is something you can't see while the model's on the table, don't paint it. Just don't. Don't even try. There's no point. If it isn't something that's visible while the model's on the table, who's going to see that you didn't do it?
Like, you mean underneath capes or
Yeah.
uh okay.
Like underneath capes, if somebody's got a big skirt on, like trying to actually paint their legs or paint the inside of that skirt, there's no point to. No one's going to see. No one's going to be picking your model up if you're just going for the gaming value and just trying to have painted miniatures on the table. Nobody's going to pick up the model and look to see if you painted that part.
Right.
And Fred, with the time commitment thing, not counting spraying the models, because I do a lot of those at a time. It's hard to break down that time. For each of your models, I spent probably about an hour
Okay.
taking my time.
That's
And I'm
not,
going to tell
that's
you,
not bad at all.
Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you how we can do it faster.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that I wanted to come and talk about is the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 markers that they are putting out. Because I think I got them. I pre-ordered them. I was very excited about it. I got them in and started working with them, and I called them to, I think both Brad and Fred one night. I think they are specifically markers that are speed paints, because paint markers have existed for model making for years. These speed paint markers are a different ballgame. A model, painting a model to the quality that I would do for a fast model paint job, an hour on a model. I sat down on my couch, not at my painting desk, and decided with that I got, which I'll go into more about what's in the set and what's coming here in a minute. But I sat down with that model and I said, I'm gonna try to do the exact same thing and see how long it takes me. Including having to activate every marker I used, so shaking them, turning them upside down, letting the paint run into the felt. It took me about 35 minutes.
Okay.
And so it probably only took me about 25 minutes to actually paint it. Now, important disclaimer about me as a painter. I don't have great feeling in my fingers because of a medical condition, and I do not have the steadiest of hands for the same reason. So these markers being larger than a paintbrush, I mean, if you can imagine, or if you've got close to you a normal like Crayola school kid marker, they're a little thinner than that in diameter, but not a ton. They're probably, triple to quintuple the width of your average paintbrush, unless you're buying bigger, chunkier paintbrushes. That I can't understate how useful that is for me. So right now there are only 2 sets you can get. There's a little 3-pen intro set, which comes with Blood Red, if you're familiar with the line, Zealot Yellow, and Orc Skin. I got the 10 marker and Orc Skin for those who may not up to that one. That is a vibrant green color. One of my biggest problems with the intro pack is that Orc Skin is the only flesh tone they put in. So like the Luke Cage that I've been sitting here working on while everybody's been talking about their games played, I'm going to have to bust out a paintbrush to be able to paint his skin, because there aren't flesh tones, which the Army Painter does a lot of good flesh tones. So I was kind of let down a little bit on that front. But the 10 marker pack is those 3 paints I mentioned, Grim Black, which might be my favorite black contrast style paint, and I've used at least 5 different brands of
It's
contrast style paint.
it's a good one. It's my go-to now as well.
And I let Brad. I brought these markers to the shop one Thursday evening, and just a couple of my models that had already been prepped for Well, they hadn't been Xenophalt; they'd been slab chopped. They had the slab chop base on them. He put some hair on it and immediately just looked at it and went, "That's pretty good." Gravelord Gray, which is a dark gray. Hardened Leather, which for those out there who know of snakebite leather, it's a little bit darker and slightly less yellow. Pallid Bone, Magic Blue, which is a pretty true blue color. It's a little light. And then Fire Giant Orange. And then one of the gems of the whole thing is the Polished Silver Metallic Paint Marker, Speed Paint Marker. And so those are the 10 that you get to start. And the first thing I did was go and paint that Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, you know what? He's sitting there. He's been waiting. Let's see what happens. And so the first thing I did was put the blood red onto all the red parts of the suit. And before I was done with that, in my brain, I was going, yeah, I'm sold on these markers. These things are fantastic. This is going to be how I do my mid to quick. I'm going to use these heavily in mid speed to quick jobs going forward.
Okay.
Just
keep going.
real quick. Sorry, real quick. For those who are familiar with the speed paint line, we've got 90 paints right now. They're putting 28 of them into these markers over time, including every single one of their metallics. Ooh. So if you have a hard time with metallics, these are going to be a game changer for you. I promise I'm not just a walking army painter commercial.
No,
but
I can confirm that the speed paint metallics themselves are really good. They may now be my favorite metallics, and a pen would just make it so much easier.
Army Painter has made really good metallics. Those are the ones I use. I mean, for my flats I use Monument, but yeah, for my metallics I'm definitely an Army Painter guy because they're just so much superior.
I remember probably 17 years ago buying the only bronze paint I ever wanted was the original Army Painter Weapon Bronze. Such a beautiful color. So they're going to bring a lot of different colors into that range. Not really doing too much in terms of having multiple options within the same part of the palette is probably my biggest complaint from the range, because they've got Grim Black, Gravelord Gray, they're going to add Holy White, they're going to add Runic Gray, which for those who've been in miniatures on a wide scale, that's think Space Wolf Gray. Magic Blue, Caribbean Ocean, which is going to be the teal. But again, Magic Blue, the true blue, is the only blue they're putting in right now. Orc Skin, the vibrant true green, is only one of 2 greens, the other one being Absolution Green, which is just a very dark green. Pallid Bones going in, Zealot Yellow. Sand Golem, which is just a darker tan. The orange and red that we already discussed. They're adding Familiar Pink for a pink. Purple Swarm for purple. Crusader Skin looks like the only skin tone they're adding so far. A dark wooden color, and again, but they're putting in Hoplite Gold, Talos Bronze, Horde Bronze, Golden Armor, Polished Silver, Broadsword Silver, Enchanted Steel, Brazen Copper, Glittering Loot. Basically, if it's a gold, silver, or bronze color, and they've put it into a speed paint, it's going into a marker.
That would be a good pack for them to sell, is just the metallics.
I would certainly assume they're going to do that, both between how they've marketed their paints, generally speaking, and the volume of metallics that they're doing. So, back to using these, work exactly like any contrast style or speed paint style paint. Again, I'm sitting in here while we're talking, and I have a Luke Cage in hand. Right now, I am hardened leathering his belt. And you talked about part of the issue, part of the problem can be organization and making sure you have everything you need laid out to get started. The only thing paint related on this desk right now is a cup of markers, because I don't need a palette, I don't need a water cup, don't need paper towels, I don't need my brushes. All I have to do is shake a marker, which they have agitators in them. I have to shake a marker and then uncap it and go. That is
awesome. That is very neat.
So much faster.
Yeah, it prevents you from having to do the mise en place beforehand of getting everything ready.
And Andrew, I've got one more tool to suggest to you to make this a little bit better for you. Sharpie acrylic marker pen black to do the base rims.
I'm sold.
It's
sitting here without looking at it.
The Sharpie acrylics are opaque, so they don't. They're not speed paints. They cover, and the black, it's very matte. It's a marker pen, so it's very easy. I've used it a couple times now. That's how I'm painting the rims of bases from now on.
It definitely seems like it would speed that process up and also help keep me from accidentally going over stuff I've already done and disappearing other parts of my paint job.
Well, yeah, and you just put it in your marker cup, and it's one less thing you have to get a paintbrush for.
All right. Well, that was an excellent discussion about the new, about the process of painting and these new Army Painter painting pens. I think that we should move on to the person that we are here to cover today.
See?
Is that all right with everyone?
Yeah.
Has everyone had their chance? Okay.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. We totally convinced Fred that he should be painting his own models, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why you're trying to convince me to paint my own models, Brad. You are monetarily benefiting from my lack of painting skills.
Fred, your ugly unpainted models finally broke me down to let you pay me to paint your models. I have my models to paint.
Let's talk about the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Spider-Man Noir, otherwise known as Peter Parker from Earth 90214. His defensive stats are 3 physical, 3 energy, and 3 mystic. He has 5 stamina on both sides of his card. He is a threat value of 3. He is a size 2. He is a medium mover. He's on a small base, and he is affiliated with the Web Warriors affiliation. Hey, Brad, why don't you do his attacks?
His first attack is physical. It's called the old 1-2. It is range 3. It's 4 dice. It costs 0. Gain power equal to damage dealt. And if this character has already attacked the defender during its activation this turn, add 3 dice to this attack roll. And has wild hit elusive. After attack is resolved, this character may advance short. Physical crime fighting arsenal. It is beam 4, 5 dice, costs 3 power. After each attack is resolved, if it dealt damage, the defender gains slow and shock special conditions.
All right. All right. Steven, why don't you do the first two of his superpowers?
Okay, first we have Hit the Pavement. It will cost you 2 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature of size 2 or less, and within 3, and throw it medium. This superpower can be used only once per turn. We have a reactive, Inert to Plane. It will cost you 1. This character would suffer damage and may use the superpower. Reduce the amount of damage suffered by 1.
All right, and Andrew, if you have the card in front of you, can you finish out the card?
The thing. We've got our standard Spider Sense. When this character is defending against a physical or energy attack or making a dodge roll, it may re-roll up to 2 of its defense or dodge dice, and the ever-important Wall Crawler.
Okay, that is Spider-Man Noir's card. What is everyone's thoughts here? Hey, Andrew, why don't I throw it over to you? What are your thoughts here on Spider-Man Noir?
So, I have a lot of thoughts on Spider-Man Noir, so please interrupt me and stop me as much as you deem necessary. I think it's fine that he has the air quotes base stats of unquote of a 3-threat spider person. You know, he's got the 3s across the board, size 2, medium mover, take it or leave it, 5 health on the front, 5 health on the back. Nothing there is really moving the needle until you start to go down his card. I think having Inured to Pain while also having Spider Sense as durable or more durable than a large amount of his affiliation. I also think all right, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think my hottest take about Spider-Man Noir is I think he basically makes it to where unless you're just running so many 3s that you have a space, I don't know that you take Ghost Spider anymore.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. I don't think that's a hot take at all. But I have
I'm by myself.
I have a notoriously bad take on Ghost Spider. So, I think this guy fills. It's not the same role, but he fills the same slot. Brad, what are your thoughts here? What do you think about this guy?
Well, a Nerd to Pain is amazing. Let's just start right there. Reducing by 1 to a minimum of 0 is one of the reasons people like Juggernaut and Kingpin so much. And you normally don't get that on a 3-point model. Or if you do, they're real bad. Crossbones. But...
You mean a 3-point model?
Yeah, I said on a 3-point model.
Oh, okay.
Unless they're bad. Like Crossbones. Okay, now... He's not bad. Nor is not bad. He's quite good, it seems. 7 die builder on a 3-point model seems not okay, even if it is only once per turn. He's got a throw.
The fact that he's way more likely to get that. So the old one too is just Ghost Spider shtick, right? It's the same. The Spider Technique. It's Spider Technique rebranded. Having it now be range 3 instead of Spider Technique's range 2 is huge.
Yeah. And he does not have mobility like the other spiders. He is definitely a person you want to sit on a point, and he wants to stay there the whole game. But he's also the type of model that can hold a point by himself. Like, for example, if you are on a D, we'll talk about Sax's cards a little bit, so a D is bad for him in that respect. But he is the type of model that can sit on your home D. He's only 3 points. And if anyone tries to come fight him, he's going to survive that fight way longer than he should, and maybe even win that fight. So, like, I don't know. I really like this guy. Uh, he is my favorite spider that's coming out.
Steven, what do you think about Spider-Man Noir?
Well, he does have a lot of good stuff on his kit. The one glaring weakness that he has that other spiders do have is displacement. So, I guess that's what you're giving up, because the other spiders can pull people off points and then occupy those points very, very easily. So, but finally, I guess the Web Warriors have a legitimate cube carrier now, so they can start putting that back in their list.
That's true.
Yeah.
This guy can
He just
he
ignores
can
cubes.
reduce the damage.
That.
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't have to worry about what's the deadline to destruction. He doesn't have to worry about that either. In fact, you'll power him up.
It is really amazing how much a reduce damage to 0 is an advantage. Like, so much of the threat to Web Warriors is plink damage, like sneaking through that 1 or 2 damage that from maybe the superpowers that are not attacks, like tricks and traps or Counter Strike, and
Fred.
the ability. Yeah, what's that, Brad?
What was it like playing against Elsa with your webs?
Elsa was.
It's horrific.
Yeah, it's a rough matchup.
Yeah,
Midnight
he
Suns
just
is a rough
ignores it.
matchup. Yeah, I think that like this, the ability to reduce to 0 is the biggest thing that this guy brings to the table, and
Hard
I
disagree.
think. What do you? Is it the range 3 on his 7 dice builder?
No.
No.
What would you
It's
say?
it's a very gettable 2 victory points.
Yes.
That's the best thing he brings to the table. Is his tactics card.
Okay. I agree with you actually, but we haven't covered that yet. So let's talk about that. What he is mentioning is a tactics card called Spider Sleuth. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. During the first power phase, an allied Spider-Man Noir may play this card. When this card is played, set it near the battlefield instead of discarding it. Gather evidence. If this card has been played, when an enemy character within range 3 of an allied non-dazed Spider-Man Noir interacts with an objective token, put 1 evidence token on this card. Asking questions. If this card has been played, when an allied Spider-Man Noir dazes or KOs an enemy character, put 1 confession token on this card. Cracked the case. During any cleanup phase, if this card has been played, and if an allied Spider-Man Noir is not dazed or KO'd, you may remove 3 evidence tokens and 1 confession token from this card. If you do, score 2 victory points and discard this card. Yeah, he has a way of scoring victory points on a tactics card. The Web Warriors are already playing a very victory point focused game. Although perhaps it will be less so, but I still think that they want to play pretty fast. They want to score as many points as possible, as quick as possible. So the fact that they are getting a card that allows them to score points is really good. It's really, really good.
I'll put some numbers together on this. So obviously the evidence tokens. Someone has to interact with an objective to get that. Obviously, that's every extract in the game. And 7 out of the 12 currently playable secures have interact mechanics on the secures.
That's any time that a pay to flip is paid for. That's any time that someone pays for a riot spark or a deadline to destruction.
Brad
or the
and
big
I,
one.
in my test game. Yeah. Go ahead, Brad.
Intrusions.
Intrusions. Every time someone went through a teleporter.
So I think
within
what
3
I
of him.
scored that
Yeah.
two. What I did, and I want to talk about some more tech for him as well in a second. I did was kind of post him up between two of them, just kind of floating him within 3 of each of 2 of the objectives. I think I handily scored that 2 VPs by turn 3 if it wasn't on turn 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
in my first test game.
The hard part was the hard part will
Dazing or
be
KOing.
dazing or KOing. But if you could like attack them all and leave it at 1 within range 3 of Noir, and he can take a 4 die and then a 7 die into them, he's probably taking them out. Even if they've got a couple health, he's probably taking them out. So
Yep, that's a pretty good little tactic that you got there. And I do want to clarify that this card, unlike many of the other victory point scoring cards, this card scores during the cleanup phase, and a way that you can get around it if you are playing against Spider-Man Noir, you can KO him. If you KO him before the cleanup phase, they will not score this card. That is a way around it. But that might be tricky. Like that.
Yeah, we've already been extolling his durability.
Yeah. He's tough. And at that point in the game, if you can dedicate multiple attacks into Spider-Man Noir, and you're doing it to prevent him from scoring an additional 2 victory points, what are the rest of the Web Warriors doing if not scoring victory points? So, I mean, I feel as though this card is amazing. I think it's a great card. It's the kind of card that you almost staple it to the back of this guy.
this time you're right, Fred.
If you are playing Spider-Man Noir, you are playing this card. And I feel like a lot of webs are going to be playing Spider-Man Noir. So everyone out there should get used to playing this card. To how to avoid triggering its effects. Like maybe you don't need to heal 1 on that Riot Spark. And sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you have to. So yeah, this is going to be a very good card for Web Warriors. Yeah,
I think at this point, again, I think there's no way he doesn't make your roster, and I think in a very, very high number, like very high percentage of situations, you're playing him. He's very durable. Like we've said, he's one of few webs that can just happily sit a secure. He has no problem just hanging out and waiting for somebody to come up and nose around a secure and beating them up when they get there.
He's on a stakeout and he's just waiting for those bad guys to screw up.
I also want to talk about the fact that I think Web Warriors have been waiting for a long time to be able to play a point fixer that isn't Toad. And I think Spider-Man Noir is Spider-Ham's best friend. Because every single time, if that Spider-Ham takes damage, he's dropping his extract. Which means your opponent's going to try to come pick it up. Which means that if you're playing Ham and Noir somewhat close together, approximately on the field, that you're going to be getting those evidence tokens.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
Every time those two. Yeah, every time he takes any damage, he drops. If he's holding an extract, he has to drop it. And I think again, it's in it. So in the test game Brad and I played, this isn't necessarily games played, but I'll just give a little overview here. Um, we played Intrusions and Royal Wedding. I think we played at 19 points. Let me run the math real quick. 5, 10. Might have been 18. Is that a number for those?
Yeah, 18.
My list
18's
was
possible.
what
Oh, on this
was
though.
amazing. Ham, 2099, Noir, and Ultimate. And I was using Amazing as leadership. And that whole game, Noir and Spider-Ham just kind of held hands and pranced around. It was very cartoony. Pranced around in the backfield, collecting evidence, and just absolutely beating the snot out of anybody who tried to go get Spider-Ham's objective.
It seems like a good team.
It felt real good.
All right. Before I move to grading, is there anything else that anyone wants to add about Spider-Man Noir?
Counters for Spider-Man Noir. Number 1, Emma Frost.
Yep. Not being able to use his reducing superpower.
And he doesn't
You just
get a
can't
reroll.
reduce.
Doesn't get a reroll either.
Yep, you're right.
So in case anybody wants to not be on the spider train and wants to counter him, that is my suggestion.
Emma
How'd that
Frost.
go for you, Brad? How'd that go for you in our test game,
Did
Brad?
I play Emma Frost in our game? I don't
You did.
remember.
It was Sunspot, Emma, X-23, and Magic, and maybe somebody else.
And a Sentinel.
I don't know.
I absolutely played.
And a Sentinel, that's right.
Yeah. Well, considering I don't even remember her in the game, I have a feeling she didn't do so well.
Wasn't in there for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We need to give a letter grade to Spider-Man Noir. So the webs are getting a lot of new shiny toys, and this guy may be one of the newest, shiniest toys. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the most frustrating thing, is that he's not he's great, and so are all of the other Spider-Men. They're all really good. It's shocking the amount of good stuff that's coming to Web Warriors here in the near future. This guy is fantastic. I think that he's going to be a staple in the Web Warriors catalog. He's an A. This guy's an A model. Brad, what do you think about Spider-Man Noir?
Not only is he going to be played with Web Warriors, I think because of his tactics card, he is actually going to see play being splashed in other affiliations. Like Kingpin Criminal Syndicate would love to have this guy. Mystique would love to have this guy.
Crap.
Hellfire would love to have this guy. I'm giving him an S.
Oh boy. Okay. Steven, what do you think about Spider-Man Noir?
Just going off of what people have said, I'd probably be. I'm skeptical usually. I'm going A minus. Jury's still out for me though. I
All
haven't
right.
had any test games against him or anything like that. So
Okay. And Andrew, what are you going to give to Spider-Man Noir?
All right, I'm gonna I haven't talked enough. I'm gonna pull my soapbox out for a second. I think Spider-Man Noir and most of this new wave of spiders are a veiled apology for how aggressively the first set of Web Warriors in the game have kind of been left by the wayside. One of which was literally dead on arrival. I think you're right, Fred. I think they're all incredible. But I think we got to call a spade a spade. This guy is A-plus material. Brad's right. He could get splashed. I think he's every roster, if not in almost every crisis team that gets picked for Web Warriors.
Okay, and what? Back to what you said. The one that's dead on arrival, that was original. The Spider-Man that came in the core box, the 4 threat Peter Parker Spider-Man, who has not been played since 2024. Like, I don't think anyone plays him. Like, he does not get played. So yeah. I don't think I want to go off of what you just said. I don't think Web Warriors were even in a bad place right now. Web Warriors are in a
not
good
at all.
place. They are a high performing team, and they are about to get a bunch of cool stuff. Like, I'm jealous. I used to play with Web Warriors. I kind of want to go back.
2099 is an absolute stud. I can't wait to talk about him more.
All right. Well, thank you for discussing Spider-Man Noir. Hey, Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Peter Parker from this particular Earth?
I do. Spider-Man Noir might be best known for a very good children's movie. Children should not read his comics. They are just shy of getting the mature readers tag. So the first one, Spider-Man Noir, it's by David Hine, Fabrice Sapolsky, and Carmine de Giodemico. And this may have been the first one, but they did a line of noir comics that they were taking their Marvel superheroes and making crime comics based around them. So, for example, X-Men are all psychopaths that are in this insane state asylum, and Professor X is the doctor in charge of them, and he uses them to commit crimes. Spider-Man Noir.
I bet you like that. I bet you like that circumstance that they're kind of villainous.
No.
I'm being sarcastic.
Those are pretty much universally hated comics, but Spider-Man Noirs are good. 1932, Peter Parker is investigating the criminal organization that killed his uncle, and that organization is led by Norman Osborn. During the investigation, Peter Parker gets bitten by a venomous spider that's hiding in a spider totem in like a crate. And he passes out, wakes up in a cocoon, breaks out, and has spider powers now. And he uses those powers to hunt down those criminals and shoots them dead with a gun. The bad guys do not survive this miniseries.
What a wild swing.
This was popular enough, sold enough, that is followed up very quickly by another series, Spider-Man Noir, Eyes Without a Face. The same team worked on it, the exact same writers and artists. And Doctors Octavius and Connors are running a secret lab on Ellis Island, trying to use brain surgery to control inferior people with the help of the Nazis.
Oh, boy.
They are dark comics.
Yeah.
They are good. By the end of this second series, Peter starts having a moral dilemma about shooting all these guys in the face after he saves Aunt May from, I think it was Dr. Octavius, and shoots him dead. And May's like, you could have just captured him instead. And he's like, oh yeah, I probably could have. Maybe that was the wrong thing to do.
It's a noir. Are
It
these
is.
these are thematically noir,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, big time. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he can think that, but he's gonna shoot that bad guy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then he shows up in like the big Spider-Man dimensional copying comic that's like appropriate for kids. But that's not where he started.
For anyone who's interested, we have confirmed that some voice actors have started recording for the third one of those at this point.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Film.
Oh boy. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
That's
it, Brad?
That's it.
Is that it?
I got those 2 series.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brad, for discussing the comic book recommendations. The only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So I was thinking about it. I was talking about it with the guys before we started recording. That I made a huge error in that I had recommended the movie Pig in the Peter Porker episode and not in the Spider-Man Noir episode, which is the best Nicolas Cage movie that has come out in the last 5 years. However, the reason why that's relevant is Nicolas Cage voiced Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Verse movies
and the upcoming Spider-Man Noir TV series.
Oh, I did not know that.
Comes out
I did not know
2026. 2026.
I'm very proud of Brad for not actually calling Spider-Man Noir Nicolas Cage during this episode. Nicely done, sir.
Yes. So the movie that I'm going to recommend is the movie Longlegs. This came out a couple years ago. It is a horror crime investigation movie. It is very mood focused. It is very focused on establishing like a dark and spooky and gritty mood and living in that space. Nicolas Cage is in the movie. He is doing what could best be described as a silly villain, but the silliness of the villain is so over the top that it becomes scary. And only Nicolas Cage could have ever done that. Like, it's the kind of performance that I can't think of another human that could have pulled off how a character as silly and scary as this character is. At one point, he is driving alone in his car, and he starts mocking the person in the convenience store that he just spoke to by shouting the exact same words that she said into the void, just shouting them. And it is so unsettling. It's so spooky. It's a great movie. I highly recommend that people watch it. It's not as good as Pig. That's what I'm going to say. It's not as good as Pig. And that is it for our show today. I want to say thank you to Andrew for joining with us and talking to us about painting and about the upcoming Army Painter paint pens. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us.
Oh, of course, anytime.
And thank you to Stephen and Brad for being on the show. And thank you, everyone out there, for listening to us talk about these nerdy things. I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of the week. Goodbye.